My name is Minnow, and about 1 year ago from today, I made my first YouTube video. So this is a chance for me to look back and reflect on my year with everything from the creation process, the views, the comments, the money, and more. But first things first, YouTube for me is a passion project more than anything else. And with that, my focus is on, whatever I like to do and what I want to make. And I think that this is the mindset anyone starting to make videos here should kind of go into with and try to keep the best that they can. Also, the Minecraft footage in the background is totally irrelevant to the video. Yeah, I'm tiny in it, don't worry about it. It's just something so you're not looking at a blank screen. Okay, but anyways, let's just hop into my channel, Minnow. So going from 0 to 7,000 subscribers, this was my channel for the year. And I now have 2 others, but I'll talk about those later. My main goal here going to the year was firstly that it was going to be a gaming channel, gaming content only, and secondly, that I wanted to try putting effort into making each of my videos. So does that mean that they're good? I mean, no, not really. And I quickly came to understand that just by, putting a lot of time and care into a video really doesn't make it any better, or especially get more views. In fact, simple videos with little to no editing can be just as good, if not any better in many cases. But nonetheless, that's what I wanted to do, and what I did this past year. I wanted to make each video feel, a bit personal and experimental with a bunch of random stuff that I thought was either funny or interesting. So this meant putting hours and hours into each video. I think I spent about 70 hours on my first one alone, and as far as starting a successful channel, I would bet that this is probably not the best way to go about it, and the main reason for this is it's just not very rewarding. It's tough to spend so much time on something. Know the ins and outs of the video, the story it tells, not only on the surface for the viewers, but behind the scenes, and then release it to only have a few people watch it, whereas other people will release the exact same video and have it get millions of views. And that's the main problem of starting out on YouTube. Even though I make the videos for myself, it's still near impossible not to get sucked into the YouTube game and compare yourself to others. I remember making my first video. It's about playing Raft for 100 days, and I was super excited and happy with how it was going, only to see someone else upload the same exact video, same game, same premise, and I was just so close to finishing my own one. Now, this was pretty demotivating as I no longer thought that there was any reason for my own video, but I did eventually come back to finish it, realizing that just because, I am playing the same game and the same idea, that my video was still uniquely my own. And I also thought that my first video was much better, as I'm sure many creators often think about their own stuff, and since this other person's video was doing really well, I thought that mine would too. But this was super wrong. It got around 100 views in the first week, and it's now at 2,000, whereas the other got millions of views. And that's a super important lesson that I learned right away, and continue to learn every day. Just because you think that your video is better, it might not be, or even if it is, that certainly doesn't mean that it's going to perform better. But that's okay. Again, it has to go back to why you're making videos, and for me, it's because I enjoy it and I want to share it with whoever is willing to watch. And those 100 views were actually super comforting and encouraging. I spent a bit less time on my next video, as I was just excited to start and finish another project to keep the ball rolling. Less views than before, about 20 in the first week, but it was still an amazing feeling to just finish something and have even one person watch it. And even better when the comments are there and they're saying that they liked it. And then I made my third video, keeping consistent with my style. This time I played a game called Sea of Thieves for 24 hours. And I spent about another 24 hours editing it and making it into a video. Again, super happy with my final product, and then released it for it to get 0 views in the first few days. But then towards the end of day 3, I got about 20 views, similar to my previous video. And again, this combined with people saying how they enjoyed it was amazing. But then for no apparent reason at all, it gained 20,000 views in the next 3 days, and is currently at 230,000, easily being my most popular video for the whole year, and on my channel, probably for a while. This was of course fantastic at the time, and I had thought I had found my niche. I would continue to play games for a set time, like 24 hours, and then make a video going over my experience during my time in a condensed, laid-back style. Easy enough. So I made my next video on a different game called Satisfactory. Same exact style as Sea of Thieves, and although it gained 700 views in the first week, way better than my first 2 videos, it stopped right after that and is sitting around 3,000 today. And this was very confusing for me. I didn't think that my Sea of Thieves video was all that much better than any of my others, and my new one, but why did it get so many more views then? And now, not only was I comparing myself to other YouTubers, but I was comparing myself to, well, myself. So I made another Sea of Thieves video to see how that would do, and it performed better than anything else. 20,000 views in the first week, another 20 the next, and the next, now sitting in my number 2 spot at 170,000 views. Again, I was really happy with this because it meant I was getting a lot more feedback, more eyes on my other videos, and more subscribers. But I also knew I didn't want to only play one game. The whole point of my channel, and again, me making videos, is that I want to play what I want, and make what I want. So many people get stuck making videos for a certain game, and not to say that that's bad, because that's a great way to build a channel, and also to be a part of a specific community, but it also tends to lead to be a great way to get burnt out. And with how much time I invest into every video, it's extremely important to make sure I enjoy what I'm doing. So that's another big lesson that I learned. Don't be swayed by the views of others and of my own, and continue again to do what I want to do. So I went back to making videos about other games, and my next 2 were about games that had just been released, which is where I learned another lesson. Don't do that, or at least don't expect anything extra from being early to a trend, like a new game. I thought that I could maybe make up for a lack of views by focusing on new releases, but this brings a whole bunch of problems with it. For this example, I'm going to skip over my Hogwarts video, which was my next, and talk about Sons of the Forest. So, I drove myself crazy here. My main goal was essentially to race every other YouTuber and try to be the first to make a 100 days video, since I know that they are popular, and it's the type of content I do, plus I wanted to play the game. So, seemed like a win-win to me. And that if I was the first, then I would hopefully get some views, but if anything, that I would at least, be one of the first and still get traction. Everything was going well. I was putting in hours like crazy after the game released, and then I saw someone upload a 100 days video just a few days after the game came out. I had no idea how it was possible, and after looking through it, the video was strictly clickbait. This was annoying, very annoying, because it performed really well, but nonetheless it wasn't real. But that's okay, I was over it as clickbait, but then another video released. Except this time, it was from a popular YouTuber who also does this content, and I felt defeated. But hey, they beat me to it, so props to them, right? Well, wrong. I looked through it, and although I didn't study the video, it was pretty clearly a rushed out video that also misled the viewers. It made me so mad. Clickbait is one thing, and that's whatever, but lying is another. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong, but it didn't matter, because from what I saw as I scrubbed through the video, it was minimal effort and just untrue. Of course, it also performed really, really well. All the comments were extremely positive, and this just put a really big damper on things. I think you can imagine how it could. Ultimately, it took me at least 60 hours to play through the game and put the video together, and this was me trying to get it out as quick as possible with the time that I had. Even if I was the first to upload, the truth is it probably wouldn't have changed much, and even so, it's just not worth rushing through the process to, just get content out sooner. Again and again, it all goes back to making videos because I want to. Anytime I put a stressor on it in any way, then the process becomes a lot less enjoyable. And a quick side note, I also found this past year that playing any games, even ones I liked, in my free time, felt more stressful. I always thought I needed to make a video about the game that I was playing, and that if I was playing anything for fun, then it was like a waste of time. I also tried playing a newly released game pretty recently actually, Lego Fortnite, but ran into the same issues. And again, it's not worth worrying about other channels who have different standards and priorities than you. Again, not saying my videos are better or anything, they're not a lot of times, but instead that I just make them for different reasons, and it's easy to lose that focus. It's important to realize other channels and videos will perform better than yours, no matter what. And the same goes for your own videos. It truly is a lot of luck and other mysterious forces. I find myself personally thinking about my Sea of Thieves videos, and are they the best because they have the most views? But no, that's not really true. Each video I make is different in its own way, and that's what makes them each special and worth working on. The views don't change, how good a video is. And something sort of interesting and actually quite relieving was when I released my third Sea of Thieves video. So after my first 2 released and did really well, again, the best 2 on my channel by a long shot, I waited a long time before uploading my third one. And when I did, compared to the other 2, it flopped, completely flopped. With just 10,000 views today, still, again, much better than my others, but it was nothing compared to the first 2, which averaged, about 200,000. So with this being the same game, same format, it just made me realize a video will do whatever it wants to and is basically at the mercy of YouTube's infamous and mysterious algorithm. And what I'm trying to say is that it's just not worth, at least for me, worrying about how videos perform, because at the end of the day, YouTube seems to have the final say, and for me, I just don't want to worry about that. Essentially, just focus on yourself and what makes you happy. Okay, well, that was a lot of blabbering about lessons I learned and whatnot. Who knows if any of it got across? Hopefully some did. But let's take a look at analytics and money, which I'm sure some of you are curious about. So my click-through rate is between 4 and 6%. Supposedly that means someone sees my video come up. If someone sees my video come up, then there's a 4 to 6% chance that they watch it. It doesn't seem to have any effect from what I can see on my views at all, so still remains a mystery. View-wise, I got around 460,000 views. I got nearly 60,000 hours of watch time, 7,000 subscribers, and nearly, money-wise, $1,700, which, if you do the math, is about a quarter for every subscriber, a third of a penny for every view, and at a rough estimate of how much time I put into my videos, that's $3 an hour. And if I take out the outliers, my Sea of Thieves videos, then I would have made about $70, which is about 15 cents an hour. Keep in mind, this is also pre-tax, so definitely not profitable for the time, if that's something you're wondering. That's also assuming my channel got monetized, which, again, without my Sea of Thieves videos, almost definitely would not have been monetized, so it would have been $0. There is a reason, though, that high-quality YouTube videos are either rare to come across or exclusive to large channels. And that's also why it's so frustrating to see some of these bigger channels who can actually afford the extra time, how they still cut corners and mislead their audiences. But that's really a rant for another day. Personally, I'm hoping to continue making things I like this year, and I'm curious to see where it brings me and the channel. I also want to note I created 2 other channels this year. Why? I don't know, but one is sort of a garbage channel. It's the one that you're watching this video on right now, Minnow Stream. It's a place for me to just release more of what I want without worrying about standards, whatnot. It's a place for discussion, random urges, other stuff. Again, who knows, but it exists. And then I just started a 3rd channel, Minnow Tank. I'm not entirely sure what this will turn into, but I imagine it being similar to my main channel, Minnow, for the effort that I put into them, but just not for gaming. It will be for outdoor adventures and other shenanigans. My first video there is about backpacking, for example, and I'm actually loving talking to other people in the community so far, and it seems like they're very good vibes. Also, that video is doing super well right now. It's over 50,000 views, and I have no clue why. I swear, YouTube just flips a coin on whether or not it will share new videos with people. That's really all there is to it. But why do I even have 3 channels? Why didn't I just post everything down to 1? I don't know, man. I don't. Hopefully I don't make too many more, because my goodness, how many more things can I really put on the head of my Minnow logo? And just to answer questions about why I picked Minnow, my logo and everything, I just wanted something simple and recognizable. It's really all, nothing to it. I also want to take a quick moment to thank everyone for watching. That means you, right now. Seriously, I do appreciate you. And I want to say thanks for leaving comments. I love reading through all of them. They've been extremely positive so far, and even the negative ones, it's like, doesn't matter. It's cool. It's all really nice. And I do read through every one, and I appreciate the conversations and kind words. Really do. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. That was my first year as a YouTuber. It was a great one. Fantastic time. Learned a whole lot. And well, I'm super excited for the next. I'll see you there.